YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list of the new pack day. Top 16, you'll be seeing a new pack deck list at least within the top 16. Are you ready? Starting this off with Kashtira versus Rescue Ace. By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports the videos. Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Starting off, shotgunning an emergency, summoning a hydrant from the deck, sending a Rescue Ace from the hands to the grave to summon that hydrant as it then searches for an airlifter. Didn't even set our called by. Interesting. Now, the Extinguish will pop a monster, Contain will negate a monster, we'll be able to summon a Preventer to flip a monster face down. Lil Knight will chain banish itself plus another monster on the field. We have Ash Blossom to negate, so 5 disruptions plus Rescue could steal a monster out of the opponent's graveyard if we have a hydrant on field. Maybe we're going to use that. Let's go. Straight to the battle phase, and now we're panicking because we're in the battle phase, obviously because of an evenly matched play. So let's start using our other cards here. We're going to first rescue our Impulse. We could still interact with our banished cards, but not if they're banished face down. They have to be face up banished to use our Rescue Ace HQ to return them back in the deck. And now we have to banish everything but one card. The Little Knight will help reduce the damage that this will do, as we could banish herself plus the Turbulence until the end phase. That's exactly what we're doing, as we're gonna leave up an Impulse on the field. We're also chaining the emergency to summon a Preventer, send Preventer to trigger Preventer to, after the resolution of the evenly match, summon a banished monster back in the field. We're gonna leave up the Extinguish as we reborn our Airlifter, so we could still pop a monster on the field and we still have Ash Blossom. So we have double disruption. Ash, negate the Kashtira field spell from searching. No. One more disruption with that Extinguish. We're going to special summon the Kashtira Ogre as we then search our Kashtira preparations with it. Kashtira Riseheart, banishing from the deck a Fenrir to banish 3 cards off of the opponent's deck to now make a Shang-Ri. Shang-Ri can't be destroyed by Extinguish, though. It says if a card on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you could detach 1 material from this card instead. If this card, that is, not protecting other cards. Let's set. Let's get to it. Let's do it. We're going to use Emergency at the start of the turn to now chain Macrocosmos. In response to the Macrocosmos, we're going to chain banish the Shang-Ri and herself so that the Shang-Ri will not trigger during the standby phase to summon a Fenrir or Unicorn from the deck. There's a Fenrir banished, though. The preparations could reborn that banished Fenrir when we want to, as we are summoning from the deck a Hydrant. We're going to reborn the banished Shang-Ri with the preparations to try to use it during the standby phase as we then destroy it. It did not have destruction protection because we no longer had Xyz materials. Had we been able to trigger the Shang-Ri in the standby phase to summon for the deck, that would also trigger the field spell to pop a card in the field, like taking out that Turbulence. Hydrant, grabbing a Preventer, which can't be sent to the grave due to the Macrocosmos. As I said, the Rescue Ace HQ can return banished cards back in the deck as long as they are face up. Return 4, draw 1, set from the deck with the Turbulence. What are we setting? Alert, Rescue, Emergency, and Extinguish. Preventer banishing the Emergency from the graveyard. Into attack position we go. Not enough for lethal damage. But is it? We're going to rescue from the opponent's graveyard, stealing the Kashtira Ogre, only summonable from their grave because we control the Hydrant, giving us the additional effect on the rescue for lethal damage. Just like that. Game 1 going to Rescue Ace. Pathfinder, get finding for our field spell. Field spell, come to us, the Unicorn. Unicorn will search for a Birth to normal summon the Fenrir from the hand. First, we're going to Theosis from the deck and Ogre. Ogre's going to grab a Preparations, which could summon from the hand or banishment a Kashtira. Make an our Shang-Ri, leaving the Fenrir in the hand. Okay, because the Preparations could summon it from the hand if we want to. Flipping up Prep, flipping up Macrocosmos. Any card sent to the graveyard will now be banished. Get that Fenrir out, activate the Shang-Ri to summon for the deck. Gamma is going to negate and destroy, but we can't destroy the Shang-Ri because they'll detach a material instead. Detach the Ogre, just like that, trigger the Fenrir, banishing the Gamma off the field. Shangri is also locking up a back row zone as the field spell then triggers because we locked up a zone to pop a card in the field. Scooping. Macrocosmos ensuring that none of the Rescue Ace cards would be sent to the graveyard, so we have nothing to banish to summon like our Preventer or our Turbulence. Is too much. We got oh my gosh, evenly matched. Evenly freaking matched. We don't have the out to evenly matched. Now, without the Terahertz being in your extra deck, also people not playing Jet Synchron for the Borreload Savage Dragon, you get massively wiped out by that evenly. And what the heck was that turn one? Well, we got double Impermanenced. So we're gonna pot a P, dig deep, let's get to it. 6 cards to just get Ash Blossomed. Now, unfortunately, we have no Kashtira starter cards, no Fenrir, no Unicorn, no Field Spell, no Pathfinder. Surely the pot of P would have helped us. We're going to evenly match anyway, banish everything but the Diablo Star, and then bluff the evenly into the back row, flip up the Macrocosmos, ensuring that any card sent to the grave will be banished instead. Had the Diablo Star been in the hand, Diablo Star would not be summonable. It has to send a card to the graveyard to even summon. Off the top of the deck, the weakest Kashtira is here, banishing a Scareclaw Kashtira to just knock off some cards off of their deck. Looks like they would have top decked a Gamma. To battle we go. Goodbye to our Rise Hearts. We need something, anything. Oh my gosh. Hopefully something that does not get ashed. The Birth. That's, wait, we banished the Scareclaw Kashtira so we can now reborn it. Okay, that's now something. Reborn Scareclaw Kashtira. I think we were now hoping we would have instead banished something like a Unicorn. That would have been much better. But we want to top deck the Unicorn also. Birth is fully unlimited now. Ending the turn, 2600 direct attack. If we top deck a Kashtira, we can normal summon it through the Birth. Activate the Fenrir just to get Gamma'd. Now we're getting negated and destroyed, but the Birth could reborn the destroyed Fenrir back onto the fields. Goodbye Fenrir, but the Fenrir will not be able to search again. That search has been stopped for the turn. To battle we go. We are going to on attack, banish the Gamma. Goodbye. And the driver also getting banished thanks to the Macrocosmos. Is this it for Rescue Ace? What can we do exactly? We top deck a Preventer, we could banish the Extinguish to summon it, which would then trigger the Fire Engine to summon onto the field, or we could normal summon an Airlifter or a Hydrant to trigger summon the engine. But if we trigger summon the Fire Engine, that's gonna trigger the Fenrir to banish a face-up card in the field face down. So we have to be careful with our monster effects because of that Fenrir. What's it gonna be? Airlifter. Airlifter, activate search, trigger the Fire Engine. The question is, do we trigger Fenrir? Do we want to banish a monster right here, right now? Do we wait? Fenrir? No, we waited. And the Fire Engine's bigger than a Fenrir. Damn, ain't that something? Main phase 2, summon a Hydrant, banishing off the field our Hydrant, our engine that is, as we then search for a Preventer. We're now gonna link this up into a Relinquish Anima, into the Anima column. Oh no, that's not good. Sucking up that Scareclaw Kashtira for free. It should have not been there. You want to summon your most important monsters on the left, middle, or right, never in the extra monster columns that are special summoned. Now we have the Phoenix pop in the Macrocosmos. Cards are no longer getting banished when being sent to the grave. We still have the power of the Kashtira Birth. Get ready to get birthing. The Preventer triggering, reborning the Hydrants. We're now going to also be reborning from the graveyard our Phoenix. Further showconning into the Sunlight Wolf. We're now going to Turbulence. Banish 2 from the grave to where the Wolf is pointing to add back a fire monster in grave to our hand, which would be Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom, come to me. As we further link this up into Little Knight, banishing the Birth off of the field. No, it's the evenly matched that was face down. I was going to say, if we lose the Birth, we still have evenly matched to banish their entire field. Ain't no way. And it's banished face up, so we get to see that it was an evenly match. Uh-oh. Let's get to it. Let's do it. We don't have an out to the Birth reborning. Is that really that big of a deal? Birth, activate, reborn the Fenrir. We can just deal with the Fenrir itself through the effect of the Promethean Princess, taking out Turbulence and the Fenrir, causing Kashtira to scoop it up after a back and forth duel leading to a 10-turn duel. Damn. Poplar is going to get hit with an Ash Blossom negate. We can follow up Fire King Island or 1-for-1. We got lots of plays here. There are no more hand traps in sight. Let's now speed this up. And just like that, what did we accomplish? We have Max C plus double monster negate on the Apollo. And we have engraved the Promethean Princess for another pop. We have also the Arvata, which will be reborn off of that pop. And we're also going to Kieran pop another card on the field. And the Amblo Whale, I don't think is going to be triggering here, right? Yeah, if the Doolittle gets destroyed, it will be another pop. So it should be about 6 disruption plus Max C. Can we play through 6 disruptions? Onyx add back to the hand after the turn it has been destroyed. Okay, let's return from our hand back in the deck to summon our Phantom of Yubel. We're going to Spirit Gates, grab a Dark Beckoning Beast, summon the Dark Beckoning, activate to search our deck for another Spirit Gates. Now we're going to Max C. Will the Phantom of Yubel try to negate? No, it will not. We're going to additionally normal summon the Squirmer to now make a Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel on summon, activate to banish a card on the field. Well, we could negate. And how do we check if we can negate? We can click on the card. It is grayed out. The effect of being unaffected from the Apollo negate is not active. Negate. Which, if the Fire King Island were banished, it would have activated to wipe out our field of monsters. To battle we go. Goodbye to the Apollo USA. And main phase 2, discard to Reborn under Max C, which could trigger our Promethean Princess. Instead, we're going to use the Kieran. Pop in the Amblo Whale. Triggering the Amblo Whale to Reborn the Doolittle, triggering Garunix to pop a Kieran from the deck to Reborn the Arvata, and pop a card in the field. Probably the D-Lotus, yes? Pop Kieran, Reborn Arvata, and D-Lotus be gone. Just like that. Grave Squirmer, Reborn it back on the field. Arvata, I don't think so. Negate. Why don't we just Promethean Princess the summon, draw a card for Max C? Huh? No? Doolittle getting popped is going to be triggering the Amblo Whale, and we're also going to Doolittle reborn the Flameburst and the Graveyard back onto the field. Goodbye to the Chaos Angel through the effect of the Amblo Whale. And by summon back, I mean add back to the hand through the effect of Doolittle. We didn't even Promethean. Oh my. Promethean still ready to be activated, and just like that, we didn't even have to use our Bestials. Nightmare Throne. I think people are just going to sell first turn kill with the Hedgehog now. Just summon that to burn your life points down. Set this card. And, you'd have to be thinking this set card was chosen to be kept over the Call by the Grave, meaning it's a Call by the Grave, or I guess we valued an Imperm over the Call by the Grave, or it's something crazier like a Super Polymerization. You have triple Monster Negate plus the Soul of Rage, link with a special summon, plus a Little Knight, and the Ash Blossom, and a Super Poly full fuse, and we have the Escape. Did I already say Escape? Escape, Little Knight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 disruptions. I couldn't believe there was this much disruptions. 9 disruptions plus Max C. Let's go. Druid Swarm is going to be knocking this down to 8 disruptions, so eating up a free disruption here. We could do so on their turn and on our own turn, so make sure to do that after searching with the Magna Hut. Now what? So a good idea would be to, if we could make the Druid Swarm be Chainlink blocked. Blocked from being negated by the Apollo USA. So if you were to summon something that activates on summon, like a Phoenix, Phoenix could protect it so you could safely send the Apollo to the graveyard. If it had even more negates and was worth doing that. The Bonfire is going to be negated by Ash Blossom. Negate. We could Tribute Summon for the Jerusalem. That would take up our normal summon though. Now, within this window of the Apollo negating Ash is an opportunity to summon that Jerusalem. There you go. Jerusalem banish the Yama, which now turns off the Escape. Escape's no longer a good play to use, so turning off even more disruption. These Bestials have been quite disruptive. Goodbye to the Magna Hut as we link off into a Little Knight, so Escape is no more. Come forward, Jerusalem. Little Knight on summon will activate to banish the Druid Swarm, though. Yep, goodbye to Druid Swarm, so it's not going to send the Apollo to the graveyard, but we are big enough to suicide into the Apollo to trigger the Garunix all within the damage step. Damage step pop Ponix, which, you know, unfortunately was not that good of a play. Why didn't we pop Kieran? Well, the Kieran, not wrong, Kieran, this Kieran requires us to have a Fire King to summon. We don't have another Fire King. If there's no other Fire King, sending Kieran to Reborn Kieran is no good. To reborn another Fire King, that is. And Garunix on the field, also not good. We could use the Skyburn to pop it to get in the graveyard, but it's not going to trigger. Oh, well, Yubel had no play. Let's freaking go. Don't mind if I do. Dead Escape, ain't no way. Ponix searching for a Fire King Sanctuary. Skyburn is going to get poppin'. Popping 2 cards in the field to take out our Garunix and Ponix. Sanctuary setting up the island, pop a fire, grab our Vata, trigger Garunix in the grave to summon, send Kieran, reborn the Ponix or summon the Arvata, pop a card in the field, non-targeting, and it's not going to be under Maxi because the Ash Blossom will negate. Let's go, let's go. I think this is the end. Garunix, pop, Kieran, reborn, or summon the Arvata, as I said, pop the back row, make a Hida. Now, that's public knowledge, that back row card. We know what that is. They said it. Promethean Princess is here. Promethean, reborn Ash, search Poplar, trigger. I'm surprised in Master Duel, they don't show you public knowledge face down cards, because in the TCG, you could ask as a reminder, is that card public knowledge? And they are supposed to tell you. We are going to summon Oak, activate, reborn the Ponix. And just like that, 7,800 damage, enough for lethal damage, finishing them off, 2-0 victory. Bystials are the difference here. Bystials screwed up the escape. Bystials was screwing up the Apollo USA. Bystials is what you need to help beat Yubel. It's not the ultimate counter to Yubel. It helps against Yubel. We passed. No play. Yep, that is unfortunate. We need a super heavy samurai monster to activate the bank key to search. That is unfortunate. We do have Ghost Bell, negating the effect of Spirit of Yubel, which could summon from the hand, deck, or graveyard. We have Gamma, negating the bell. We have Gamma, negating the Gamma. Gamma, negates. Negate and destroy. Normally when you negate Gamma, you're not destroying it, so it stays in the hand to be activatable again within the same turn, but in this case, Gamma gets rid of it. You still have Valor. Squirmer is here into an Almirage. Sure, what are we cooking up here? Just to get the Squirmer into the graveyard to banish, reborn the Spirit of Yubel, trigger it to not be negated since there's already a Nightmare Pain on the field. So we were definitely assuming that they would maybe be searching for another Nightmare Pain. As Shabara pops Spirit to summon a Yubel from the deck to get Shabara onto the field to now link this off into a Yama. Yama being summoned, triggering the effect of the Shavara to set an escape from the deck as the Yama adds the Shavara engrave back to the hand. There we go. We're no longer locked into Fiend monsters, as it's only when Shavara is on the field summoned from the hand. We're going to further link this up with the Almirage and Yama into our Soul of Rage. Return from the graveyard to summon our Phantom of Yubel, and just like that. Did we forget to attack? Was that, all right? Like, there's some damage we could have dealt here, right? Was this a main phase 2, or did we think that we were going first? Anyway. We scooping. Big scoop. We out. Just like that. Soul of Rage, Escape, Lil Knight, Phantom of Yubel, fuse with the entire field. Nibiru is going to tribute up the entire field. 7 disruption. Let's go. Poplar, adding an original Sinful here. We have Link Kuribo, so we're not going to be having them play into a Gamma, as we would have to send the Link Kuribo. Is that not obvious that you have Gamma, right? But you know that you have Gamma for their Gamma, so you play into the Gamma on purpose, but then you don't know about the second Gamma. Oh my gosh, we're going to do it. Yes! Ash Blossom, the original Sinful. Gamma, the Ash. Gamma, the Gamma. Gamma, the gamma, gammaing, the gamma, gammaing, the ash, ashing, the original sinful. Negate. Ain't no way. Let's freaking go. Wow. Playing into that beautifully. Both players thought they had the upper hand. Unbelievable. Safely ashing because you had your own gamma. Who would not do that? Boarload Savage Dragon equipping the Link Karibo. Send Link Karibo to summon our Diablo Star. Let's now speed this up. A freely summoned Boarload Savage Dragon. Unfortunately, we didn't really have that great of a play afterward, so we just have one negate with Boarload. DBB, we are chaining the Wanted Seeker to search our deck here. Sure, we have that one negate on the Boarload. And this Gamma's not dead. We know there's Gamma in the hand because it was activated, and there's a driver in the grave because we synchroed into a Boarload. But we got too many bodies on the field for it to even matter. Negating the activation of the throne, thus it goes to the graveyard. Follow up with the Spirit Gates into the Chaos Summoning. There is no more disruption. We're in big trouble. Summon a Spirit from the deck with the D-Lotus, grabbing a Nightmare Pain. Nightmare Pain is going to pop the Spirit, grab a Squirmer to trigger Spirit to summon a Yubel. We're going to then return back in the deck to summon a Phantom of Yubel, reflecting 6,000 damage. Squirmer to then make it lethal by popping the Yubel to trigger Yubel to summon a Terra Incarnate. That's right. Squirmer in the battle phase to get poppin'. Triple reflect for game. Should the Boarload be in defense? Because triple reflect on 2,500 is not game. You have to triple reflect at 2,700 to have game. 26 and below is you're going to need 4. More Yubel on Snake Eye Fire King action. Starting this off with Volcanics to pop a fire to search a fire. Veiler, negate. We can follow up with Diablo Star, which the Ash will then be used on the original Sinful. So we are well protected to stop these plays. Send the Poplar, equip Poplar, trigger Diablo Star, original Sinful, Ash negate, and then what do we do from there? Well, we could reborn their Ash with a Hida to at least get a Promethean Princess in the graveyard. Yup. And Promethean will then be able to reborn the Poplar potentially. There's Promethean, activate Promethean, reborn Poplar, Poplar search our deck for a Subversion to be usable next turn. Amblo Whale, and just like that, we have Ash and Promethean for our forms of disruption. And we actually have a third disruption, because when the Amblo Whale is destroyed, it's going to reborn the Hida. Then if Hida is destroyed in any way whatsoever, it's going to be popping a card in the field, even within the damage step. So 1, 2, and 3 disrupt. Let's go. Spirit Gate searching for our Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning searching for a Chaos Summoning Beast. We're going to additionally summon our D-Lotus, which the Ash will negate. Negate. Now, even if we reborn it, it's a hard once per turn. It is no good. Now, theoretically, we could have used the Spirit of Yubel to summon a Phantom of Yubel to protect our D-Lotus from being negated. Discard Spirit, but, I mean, what are we trying to do with D-Lotus? We're trying to summon a Spirit, so why protect it when we could just discard and reborn it, searching for a Nightmare Pain? Are we triggering the Promethean? Yes, we are. Promethean is not taking out the Spirit. We're going to wipe out the Amblo and the Dark Beckoning Beast, summoning the Promethean, and also reborning from the graveyard a Hida. Now, if the Promethean or Hida is destroyed in any way whatsoever, the Amblo Whale will activate to get destroying. What did I say about 2,700? 2,700 is 3 attacks for game. 3 Yubels and we win. 1 Yubel, 2 Yubel, pop Yubel, summon a Terra Incarnate, summon a Phantom of Yubel again. That's it. It's over. Good duel. Great. Math. 27, 27, the perfect number. 27 is triple Yubel. 26 is not. Oh boy. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Let's hop into the next duel. Poplar add a Subversion. Not playing Divine Temple here. Not everyone's playing the Divine Temple. So we had Promethean to pop a special summon, Amble Whale to pop a card on the field. We have the Kieran to pop another card in the field. We have the Arvata to negate a monster in the field. We have the Skyburn to pop a card in the field. We have 5 disruptions plus Max C. Hit him with the C. I'm out of here, really? Yeah, okay, game 3. I mean, all your disruptions in the graveyard, it's public. I see it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Let's go. Start this off with the Spirit Gates. We're dealing with an Imperm and Maxi. We have Ash Blossom to stop the Maxi or the Call by the Grave, but we have nothing for the Impermanence. So by activating this in response to the DBB, we may want to be using Imperm onto this. Imperm would be good to stop them from searching for the Spirit Gates, which we already see on the field. So I would say not a good idea. Holding the Imperm as we should. And we could discard Spirit of Yubel to summon Spirit of Yubel only if we get the Dark Beckoning Beast into the graveyard. Additionally, summoning the Chaos Summoning Beast. Many people ask, why do you play this in Yubel? So you have a monster to search off of Dark Beckoning Beast, otherwise you could only search for a Spirit Gates. We have the Yama searching for Shivara, as we use the Gates to discard Spirit to Reborn Spirit to activate Spirit. We obviously don't Imperm this even if we want to because there's a Shivara in the hand to dodge the Impermanence, chain pop in the Spirit in response to it activating. We're grabbing a Squirmer. Spirit's going to summon a Yubel from the deck. Squirmer special summon onto the field. Pop Yubel to summon a Terra Incarnate. Further fueling our grave with Yubel monsters to summon from our extra deck a Phantom of Yubel. We now have Apollo USA, which we could just hold the Imperm to negate Apollo. And then that just takes off 3 disruptions off of their fields. Spirit is back in the field with a Phantom of Yubel, returning back in the deck of the Yubel that will summon off of the Spirit being destroyed from Shivara. Then Shivara and Yubel are now going to be making the Soul of Rage, triggering Shivara to set into the back row the Escape. And this is now going to be ending our turn. So what do we have here? We have triple monster negate plus the Link Off with Soul and a Little Knight, Phantom of Yubel, pop with the Escape. We have an Ash Blossom plus a Call by the Grave. So 9 disruptions plus a Finger. You can use Imperm to turn off 3 of those disruptions onto the Apollo. Yep. Imperm, negate, we're now down to 6 disruption. Imperm, we're now down to 5 disruption. 5 disruption with 3 cards in our hand. Ash negate the bonfire. We're now down to 4 disruptions. Is 4 enough? Fire King Island, popping. We're going to pop the pop, stop your pop. I don't think so. And the Garunix won't trigger. I mean, we tried. We tried our best. There's nothing else we could do. Garunix won't trigger. Soul of Rage is coming back to link off with a newly special summon monster if there were to even be one. If you even had something trigger in the graveyard, they have the Call by the Grave to finger it. It's hopeless. And just like that, Yubel, despite being able to turn off a ton of disruptions with the Impermanence, is falling to Yubel. Can we turn that Apollo into a giant access code talker, 6,300? That would be quite nice to see. Filling up that field. Come forth and, yup, as we said, access code talker, 6,300. Still not enough for lethal. Now we got the Gustav Max Cannon. Burn for 2,000 damage. Lethal with the access code talker. Damn. I want to see a duel where the Gustav Max Cannon is needed to win. I have not seen it yet. It's always been a win more card from what I've seen. It's medical lab technologist or medical lab scientist. Look that up. I'm constant. Gia gets bothered all the time to come back. They're desperate. Dark Beckoning Beast getting negated by Psyframe Gear Gamma. Set 3 back row, then pass. Let's go. Oh my gosh, both players bricked. What the brick is going on? I mean, Dark Beckoning Beast was not a brick, but it did get negated. We have Squirmer going into the Almirage. Squirmer reborn the Dark Beckoning Beast? What the heck? We're cross-out designating a Squirmer? Negate. I mean, we don't know if they're going to summon a D-Lotus from the hand. We don't know that. It could summon from the hand or grave. Dark Beckoning Beast come forth and summon Imperm. Negate. Your requirements for being a medical lab scientist is going to be different per state, so make sure you look that up. Some are going to require a bachelor's degree, and if you're lucky, you're in a state that does not require a bachelor's degree, and you'll still make a ton of money. Call by the Grave, finger the Max C. The Squirmer is not going to destroy the Dark Beckoning on summon, because it don't do that. Now that we have the Squirmer, we are going to be linking this off into Yama. Yama is here as we're going to be searching our deck for a Shavara. Come forth, Shavara, as we banish the Squirmer to Reborn from the Grave. Nothing as we finger that Dark Beckoning Beast. This is a really desperate back and forth duel of no Yubel cards. Where are the Yubel cards? We're just battling with regular fiends. We're going to target the Call by the Grave, then use Call by the Grave in response to the Shavara popping it. Finger that Dark Beckoning from the opposing graveyard. This is a wild top 4 duel. To battle we go, 4,000 damage to the face. We don't have any disruption until we go into the Soul of Rage. Now we could get disrupted. We have the Escape, we have the Soul of Rage. That's going to be 4 disruptions just from that. That's why you're playing the Unchained Engine. This is very powerful. Off the top of the deck. Now, the Dark Beckoning Beast is still negated under the Call by the Grave. We're going to Chain Escape, wipe out the Spirit Gates, which will not only reborn the Soul of Rage back in the field through the effect of Yama, but the Soul of Rage also adds the Shavara Engrave back to the hand. So we have 3,800 damage. Not enough for lethal yet. Come forth, and back, 38. How do we deal the remaining 200 damage? Off the top of the deck, a Nibiru. So we're not going to Shavara pop an attack because it's 200 off from lethal damage. Another Spirit Gates. Spirit Gates, Dark Beckoning is no longer negated. Now, if we didn't play a Chaos Summoning Beast, what would we search here? We'd search another Spirit Gates. If we discard, we have nothing to Reborn from the graveyard. That'd be no good. We can't Almirage get this in the graveyard because we already Almirage, so the Chaos Summoning Beast is the best search. There you go, straight up. This is why you play it. Additional summon to battle. Wipe out, trigger Almirage to Little Knight. That's crazy. That was crazy. Okay, just a Little Knight trigger? Sure. Yeah. Who forgot that Almirage does that? When a normal summon monster is destroyed by battle, reborn it. So we're going to Little Knight chain banish that back row. We cannot Soul of Rage the Little Knight because Little Knight will chain banish herself plus another card in the fields. Another monster that is. To battle we go. Lethal damage with Shavara. And let's take this into game number 2. Come to us, Dark Beckoning Beast on summon, search our deck, imperming the Dark Beckoning Beast. We can Almirage, discard, Reborn, but we can't make a Yama off of this play. So what do? We Little Knight, discard Max C, Reborn into Little Knight. That's exactly what we do. Little Knight plus Max C, now back to you. We're going to hard summon our Phantom of Yubel right away before activating our Nightmare Throne, which could then now negate an Ash Blossom if they had one in the hand. Normal summon D-Lotus, jump off, summon for the deck. We're going to Little Knight, banish the Phantom of Yubel, and Phantom of Yubel is going to be like, I don't care. I'm going even with the Little Knight, and I already fully protected my Throne and my D-Lotus from an Ash Blossom. And we also Chain Link block with the Throne. We're going to chain Max C just like that. Let's go. And now we're going to be drawing per special summon. We're going to add a Spirit of Yubel as we set up a Nightmare Pain into the back row, activate Nightmare Pain. We're going to pop Spirit, add Squirmer, end our turn because of Max C. Oh my gosh. Now, we're going to activate our other Spirit Gates, grabbing a Dark Beckoning from our deck. Summon our Dark Beckoning, trigger to grab a Chaos Summoning Beast. Dark Beckoning additionally summoning that Chaos Summoning Beast into our Unchained Soul of Yama. Yama activates, search our deck for a Shavara, but we are going to get negated. We really want them to activate a monster effect so we can activate our Triple Tactics talent to draw 2 or look at their hand and return a card back. We're now going to link this up into an Unchained Soul of Anguish. Now, unfortunately, the ads are coming right now, so we knock out some notifications and we'll come right back. You're not going to miss a thing as we try to link off with their monster to go into an access code talker to get wiping up. But they do have a super poly, which is not activatable with the Phantom of Yubel on the field. We could discard with the Spirit Gates to reborn the D-Lotus. That's going to be another play, but then play right into that super poly. Anguish, forcing the Phantom of Yubel to negate the effect, forcing them to destroy Yubel instead. Now, with the Yubel on the field, we could super poly the entire field, fusing it all up. Triple tactics talent now that you finally have activated a monster effect. You want to take control of my Yubel. Squirmer's going to pop it. Now you take the Squirmer. By taking the Squirmer, we are now going to trigger the Yubel or the field spell to grab the Terra Incarnate to summon it onto the field, further showconning into an access code talker. Now, are we fusing into something here on the resolution with the Super Poly? Yes, we are. Forcing the back row activation is all we wanted to do so that we could discard the D-Lotus without disruption, and it worked out perfectly. Burn for 1,000, discard D-Lotus, get reborning on the D-Lotus. Perfectly done. Force the back row, force the disruption, then go through with your main play. Nightmare Pain dodging the Imperm column here. Pop the Spirit to add a Squirmer, Spirit summon a Yubel from the deck, trigger the Yama, reborn a Fiend from the graveyard, which will be the Soul of Anguish. Squirmer's going to summon, pop Yubel to summon a Terror Incarnate from the deck. As we then further showcon this up into a cross sheet, return back to the deck from the grave to summon our Phantom of Yubel under the cross sheet to reborn a D-Lotus to now make a Chaos freaking Angel. Indestructible by battle, cannot be destroyed by card effects. How do you deal with this unstoppable loving defender? Well, you banish it, and we did. So just like that, Chaos Angel, be gone. You have 6,600 damage on the field versus 8,000 life, reborning our Spirit of Yubel as we go straight to the battle phase. Not enough to lethal. Can we set up some disruption for the follow-up? We're going to be making the Gustav Max Cannon, which I've been saying I've been waiting for someone to summon it and actually be done for lethal, not a win more play. Finally, I saw it. Let's freaking go. Amazing. Yes. Wow, that was made with the Chaos Angel and the Spirit of Yubel. Wonderful. Nightmare Throne, pop and Spirit to summon a Yubel from the deck. Look at that Nibiru count. Are we counting up? Phantom Yubel to negate the Nibiru. We're going to Imperm preemptively onto the D-Lotus. We're going to 1-for-1 discard Ash to summon another D-Lotus. Don't mind if I do. The Phantom of Yubel is locking down that Nibiru from being activatable. It's no good. Had we Impermed the Phantom of Yubel, we could have then maybe Nibiru'd afterward, but the problem with that is when do we Nibiru between them just summoning another Phantom of Yubel on the field? We have triple monster negate, 4 monster negate, link off of the special summon monster, Lil Knight, that's 7 disruption plus an impermanence and an escape, 9 disruption versus a 5-card hand, and we know one of them is Nibiru. So 4 cards versus all of that disruption. Let's go. Starting off with Spirit Gates, grabbing our Dark Beckoning Beast. We didn't pop it with escape. Dark Beckoning, we are going to Imperm negate the search. I feel like that's definitely wasteful, but when you have so much more disruption than the amount of cards in their hand, does it matter? Just say yes and negate everything. We're now going to be making our Little Knight. Now this is where it can get a bit scary here. Little Knight will activate to be... Oh, we just let it happen. Okay, sure. We are going to Escape of the Unchained, pop the Spirit Gates. We're going to chain Little Knight to banish the Soul of Rage. So the big question here is, what do you do here? Do you have to negate the Little Knight? Or we just let it banish our Soul of Rage? Who cares, right? It will still destroy the Spirit Gates. It won't. The Escape has to destroy both cards, or it destroys none. Destroy both. If it can't do both, it's not going to do either. So Phantom of Yubel, whether we want to or not, is going to stop the Little Knight from stopping the Soul of Rage from being destroyed by the Escape of Unchained. Now the Yama's going to be able to reborn the Soul of Rage as the Spirit of Yubel summons a Yubel from the graveyard. I should say from the deck even, as the Soul of Rage adds the D-Lotus back to our hand to be used next turn. The Little Knight has to attack into the Yubel that we're summoning. For 3,200 damage, by the way. You gotta swing into it. Yup, 32. 16, 16. And we're just gonna, Little Knight already activates effect, so why not? Force them to swing in and then make an access code talker. If we have a good memory, we know exactly what's in their hand. The one Nibiru they attempted to summon on our first turn. So let's put up enough damage here, 4,300, not enough. Now we have Little Knight, thank you very much. Finish him off. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Was that needed? Modar. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to discard Bonfire, summon our Diablo Star, activate to set up an original Sinful. We're now going to activate Maxi before the activation of the original Sinful so we don't get gammaed. Summoning a Hydrant from the deck. This is Rescue Ace versus Snake Eye. I don't think this is Snake Eye Fire King. Droll and Lockbird, so you can no longer add cards in the deck to the hand. Well, Turbulence does not add from the deck. It sets from the deck just like a Spirit of Yubel set for cards. That's going to be setting up at least triple disruption. Let's go, let's go. Now, the Rescue could steal a monster out of the opponent's graveyard, which I'm not counting as one of the main 3 disruptions. The main 3 being Preventer, Flip Down, Extinguish, Pop a monster, Contain, Negate a monster. We're also going to further be making an SP Little Knight, Droll and Lockbird, stopping the Maxi draws here. We're going to Little Knight on summon, banish the Droll and Lockbird from your graveyard, which I can't think of that being relevant in any way whatsoever. Sure. Put into our back row the Hydrant, and let's get to it. Arvata, sure. So how do we stop this? They have Negate, Pop, Flip Down, and Banish with Little Knight. 4 disruptions. Poplar on summon, activate. I don't think so, mate. Contain. Not only are we containing it from being able to use its effect on resolution, it's fully negated. Ah, we scooping. We also can't link off with it. We can't make a Link Karibo, put itself into the graveyard. It also can't even, well, actually, that's only if there was a Hydrant. Wait, Hydrant's on the field. Yeah, that actually works. If you control a Rescue Ace Hydrant, which we do, it's in the back row. That's so funny that that works, but it does. It does work. What the hell? Poplaw, we're not chaining Impulse. We're chilling. Impulse, summon the Fire Attacker, which would be able to draw 2 cards, then discard, drawing into some more hand traps. We have Promethean Princess Pop. We have Masquerina into Little Knight, and we have Ash Blossom, so we have about 4 disruptions. We have Battle Phase Protection through the Zealantis alongside the Promethean Princess to pop 2 cards on the field non-targeting. So they're going to be afraid to enter the battle phase, and we have Maxi. Let's go. Pot P, we hit them with that Ash. Pot P eats Ash. No, I guess not, huh? I treat Pot P as them picking up their entire deck and adding whatever they want. Bonfire gets searching. Still not eating my Ash. I don't think so. We're saving it for something better. Chain the Maxi. Now, this is not playing into a Gamma. You could Ash the Gamma, so it's a safe Maxi. Finger the Maxi. Now, we could have had them finger our Ash to protect our Maxi, but instead we tried to protect the Maxi with the Ash onto a Gamma. Are we going to pay for that? Flame Burst, summon a Masquerina from our back row. Sure. Still got all of our disruption here. Poplar on summon, activate, searching for our original Sinful, which we're going to be making a Little Knight. Little Knight on summon, banishing the Poplar, no Poplar effect to equip a card into the back row, so we have nothing to activate our original Sinful on. Little Knight banish, and we still have Promethean, Ash, and Little Knight. So let's get to it. Reborn the Ash and Poplar. Search our deck. We have this Sinful Temple, adding Eponyx. Okay. We're now going to be activating to take control of the monster on the field. We're going to use Little Knight to banish the Zealantis and Lil Knight itself. We're now protected, and thank you for your Snake Eye Ash. We still have Ash Blossom and Promethean. Now, we know they have an original Sinful. They're waiting to get a body on the field. So you would think that this maybe would have been an opportune moment to activate Promethean, pop in that Linkuriboh so that they would have nothing face up to use original Sinful on. Instead, we're still holding on to the Promethean for something else. We have Ash. That's why we don't care. Ash, negate. Just like that, taking this into game 3. Yeah, and we still had Promethean. We're super safe. Why is this? We're going first with 2 Maxi, 2 Ash, and a Gamma. What the hell? We're gonna pass turn 1 just like that. Boom, right back to you. We got 2 fingers. We got a finger for the Maxi, a finger for the Ash, and then they're just playing with Gamma. Gamma is gonna be the only card that could go through until we draw into our own Ash. Now, if we finger the Ash, that fingers ourselves, so our own Ash cannot stop the Gamma, and it also temporarily stops so they can activate again within the same turn. I'm gonna be excited to see what happens here. Maxi. Okay. Discard Flame Burst to summon Diablo Star. Diablo Star, activate. Holding on to that Gamma, mate. We're going to Original Sinful, send, firing off, Maxi. Finger the C, fingering our own Maxi. Yup. But we're going to activate Maxi just in case they plan on summoning within our own turn. So our Maxi is not negated. Since it would be negated during their turn anyway, you may as well just get rid of it, I guess, if you don't think it would be good beyond 2 turns from now. Ash is now here. Ash Blossom onto the Snake Eye Ash. Finger the Ash. Now we're gonna have to use Gamma on something else. This is it. We can't then add a Gamma on top of the Ash activating. We have to beat the direct chain link to the activation of the monster effect. Adding a Poplar. Can't imagine that we would Gamma here. Of course not. I think we're gonna Gamma the effect of Ash to summon from the deck in Oak, right? Oh, there's the Oak right there, actually. Poplar into Linkuriboh, triggering the Poplar to equip itself into the back row. Uh-oh. We're going to send the Flame Burst to summon the Poplar, trigger the Flame Burst. Do we Gamma? If you Gamma, that's gonna trigger the field spell because you're summoning a monster to summon our Oak from the back row. It's like a checkmate. What do you do? And now we can start setting up for an Apollo USA to just negate that Gamma. Nightmare Phoenix. We may just go into Promethean though instead. Promethean. We negate anything. The Oak's coming. Oak's now coming. It's coming. Oak is here. Oak is top tier. From the back row with the field spell, it is protection against Nibiru. It's protection from Gamma. Just like that. Thank you for the Oak. Oak Reborn the Ash. And let's keep on making plays. We did get to also draw a card off of the Maxi. Now, the Ash Blossom's no good because we fingered ourselves by fingering their Ash. We're now going to be going into Masquerina. Masquerina and the Sunlight Wolf. We're just going to pass our turn to go into a Little Knight during their turn. We also have Promethean Princess, so ideally, they special, we Promethean, we chain Masquerina to link off with the Wolf before it gets destroyed with Promethean. Otherwise, Promethean will lock us out of being able to summon a Little Knight. We also have Imperm. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions. It's not even needed. Emergency is no good if we don't have another Rescue Ace monster to send to the grave from the hand. Or if we don't have a Banish Rescue Ace to special summon off of special summoning a Preventer, send to the grave, then Reborn the Banished monster. Oak, Reborn the Ash, Ash, add a Ponix. This, it's over now, yes? Apollo negate, chain the Maxi to the Apollo so it cannot negate, and let's inflict lethal damage, right? No? I mean, we have the Divine Temple, but boosting up our field, we couldn't have put up lethal? I guess especially, we're done. We're done. We're so done. I'm out of here. Apollo USA, Imperm negates, ain't no freaking way. Drawing a call by the grave, what the hell is that gonna do for us? Nothing. Now we are into the grand finale. Let's go. Begin. We're gonna start this off with a Dark Beckoning Beast, searching for our Spirit Gates, locking them down with a Droll in Lockbird. What kind of plays can we make under Droll? Neither player could add cards from the decks of the hand under Droll. Even if a Maxi were active, no drawing for you. Now, the Nightmare Pain is going to be adding a card from the deck, so it's not activatable, so no pop in the Spirit of Yubel. Droll put in good work here, right? I mean, we just have a Phantom of Yubel for in-engine disruption. That's 1 disruption plus a random impermanence. Double disruption instead of 8 to 10. That's wild. Let's go. We have the Crossout to negate the impermanence. We don't have a Call to the Grave to stop the Phantom of Yubel. We're going to 1-for-1 summon a Ponix from the deck, triggering the Poplar that we have discarded. As the Imperm now attempts to negate the Ponix, we are going to dodge the negate with a Skyburn. Now, Skyburn is going to destroy the Ponix, getting it off the field so it does not get negated, but the Phantom of Yubel will not be destroyed because the Almirage will tribute itself off the field to protect the Phantom of Yubel from being destroyed. Nicely done, nicely done. So we still have that monster negate that we desperately need here. Onyx resolving, setting up the Fire King Sanctuary. Fire King Sanctuary, setting up the Fire King Island. We have no fire monster to pop here, so we're going to grab a Snake Eye Ash. Ash on summon. Gotta be careful. What do we do if we negate? They're gonna Fire King Island, search for Garunix. Garunix is then gonna be able to summon the Ponix, pop a card in the field even. What do? It's send Arvata, reborn Arvata. We're doing it. We're actually negating the Poplar, giving us the freedom to now use the Fire King Island without disruption. We do have to deal with this Yubel, because we have to attack into it. So we just push into the back row and it's now dealt with. It's done. It's over. But we're going to first be making a Sunlight Wolf. Oh boy, we're gonna have a good time with this. Sunlight Wolf, triggering the Flamebirds, reborn the Ash and the Ponix, trigger the Wolf, add back the Poplar. We're gonna further link this up into a Doolittle. Now making an Apollo USA, double monster negate. We're gonna pop from the hand, Poplar, grab Garunix. Garunix come forth and summon. Pop from the deck, Arvata, Arvata, reborn the Chimera. Chimera and Garunix make the Promethean Princess, reborn the Flamebirds. Flamebirds push the Yubel into the back row. Poosh. And just like that, 7,300 damage. Not lethal though. Okay. Let's further set up our plays. Phoenix within the main phase 2, taking out that Nightmare Pain as we get to draw cards since we're co-linked. Our disruptions are, we do not have an Amble Whale in the graveyard, but we have Promethean Princess to pop. We have the Garunix, which could reborn Arvata. Also Kieran pop a card, and Apollo negate. 5 disruptions, mate. Let's go. And Apollo can't be destroyed by battle because of the Phoenix co-linked with it. Spirit Gates, come to me. Dark Beckoning Beast. Apollo, negate. I think because of the in-game music being tied to the field, we're gonna have to swap perspectives more often, yes? Mix it up. As we discard a card to reborn Spirit of Yubel, Apollo negate again. We're now down to triple disruption. Negate. What now? Spirit Gates adding back the Nightmare Pain from the graveyard since we control a level 10. We're going to Nightmare Pain, pop the Squirmer, searching for a D-Lotus. D-Lotus could be additionally summoned while we have a Dark Beckoning Beast, as we now summon a Phantom of Yubel. We're going to summon a Spirit from the deck here, Squirmer, reborn from the graveyard, our D-Lotus, further Shokaning into Yama. Now, I mean, what do these 3 fingers even mean? It is supposed to be for Promethean, which would trigger the Garunix, but we can't do any of that if the Phantom of Yubel negates the Promethean Princess. So Phantom of Yubel turns off Promethean, which turns off the Garunix, which turns off the Arvata. So this 3 disruption is 0 against the Phantom of Yubel as long as we don't destroy the Phoenix by battle, which we can't even do so since it's co-linked. Promethean attempting. Negates. That's it. Boom. Our triple disruption down the drain through the Phantom of Yubel, negating. Pop a Spirit to summon a Yubel from the deck. Is this a GG? Is it now over? This newly summoned Phantom cannot be activated this turn. We're just using it to link climb into our Soul of Rage. We're going to Shavara, pop the Soul of Rage to trigger the Yama to reborn the Soul of Rage back onto the field. We're going to return a Phantom of Yubel in Graveyard back into our extra deck. Sure. What now? Popping our back row Yubel as we now return back to resummon a Phantom of Yubel. Further Shokaning into a Typhon. Typhon turning off all 3,000 attack or more by returning the Phoenix. Now there's no way for a fire monster to be destroyed to trigger the Garunix, to summon the Arvata, to pop a card in the field. 4,700 damage. Very well done. So what do we have here in terms of disruption? We have the Soul of Rage linking with the special summon into Lil Knight. We also have Phantom of Yubel. We don't have the Escape of Unchained being a good play to make. Otherwise, we're going to have to sacrifice the Little Knight plays. So about 4 disruption. Oak, activate, reborn the Ash mate. Ash, activate, Phantom of Yubel, negate. Only 700 life points remaining for Modar. By popping the Spirit, we're going to summon a Yubel. We're going to use the Soul of Rage to link off with that Snake Eye Ash to go into our Little Knight. Little Knight on summon, banish the Oak off the field, or we don't want to banish the Fire King Island. We do not want their cards to be destroyed. If we destroy a card, that is what they want to trigger the Garunix. You have to be very careful about that. Promethean Princess. Well, this works out. So what happens here, when your opponent activates a card, so we just strategically, we passed on the Little Knight summon of being able to banish a card on summon, right? Yeah, we passed on that. So we instead, it was asking, do you want to banish a card? No. I want to instead pass on the trigger and use my quick effect to chain a Promethean. I think a lot of players would screw this up. This is a big deal. By doing so, it makes it so Promethean doesn't get summoned, and we're banishing and not destroying the Oak. Had we used the trigger effect of Little Knight, what would we do? We would be, let's say, even if we target the Promethean will still pop the cards, trigger Garunix, or if we banish the Oak, it's still going to be summoning the Promethean from the grave. So very smart. Pass on the trigger to quick effect instead directly to the Promethean. Yup, nicely done. Amazing. Bunish. And he's just like desperately trying, like, can I destroy a monster, please? It should not be this difficult with all our little level 1 Snake Eye monsters to have something get destroyed by battle or card effects, especially with the Promethean Princess and Grave. Well, apparently it is very difficult to pull off. We have Dark Beckoning Beast searching for the Chaos Summoning Beast. We're going to grab the Squirmer. We have to be careful with the Promethean Princess, which the Little Knight turns off. As soon as they activate Promethean, just banish both cards they're targeting with Promethean, and then the Promethean will not get summoned. That's it. You choose the targets, which Little Knight has to banish both of those cards. But the Imperm, what do we do? This is now going to trigger Garunix, which will reborn Arvata Monster Negate, which will Kirin pop a card on the field. This is not good. And it's getting negated. Ain't no way. A whole mess of triggers are now going to be happening right now off of the Oak being destroyed. Now, this is thankfully during the opponent's turn, so after this resolves, let's start triggering. Garunix, summon. Garunix, pop Kirin. Kirin, reborn Arvata. Pop a card in the field. Taking out our own Promethean Princess because we're afraid of them reflecting battle damage. 3,400 damage on our 1,700. Oh my gosh, they still win. What is this madness? What do we do? We had a monster negate. We had an active monster negate. It doesn't even matter. Yubel. Toxic Yubel. The Makonko battle reflect damage. It's too much. I feel like it should have reflected half of the damage you would take, not the full damage. Snake Eye Ash into a Gamma. We have Ash Blossom for that Gamma, but we are not going to use it. We're just letting our Ash get negated and destroyed because the Gamma would then be activatable again within the turn. We're gonna 1-for-1 discard Ash to then get Ash Blossom getting completely blown out by Gamma and Ash. That's it. Our turn is done. Ain't no way. Wow. Okay. We do have Ash for the D-Lotus. Oh, no. they could set up a Phantom of Yubel with the Throne, which would then negate the Ash onto the D-Lotus. Is D-Lotus by itself lethal damage on an open field? Can we do it? We may need the help of Super Poly. We are going to also have some protection with the Oak. This is not disruption though, just some bodies on the field. At a Poplar, a third body on the field. So now we are under the stress of a follow-up play, a big follow-up play if we don't set up a really good field. Do we try to lethal or do we set up a good field? Let's go. Nightmare Pain with the Spirit of Yubel being summoned off of the D-Lotus, popping the Spirit to search for Squirmer. Spirit summoning a Yubel, Nightmare Throne summoning a Terra Incarnate. Double body on the field. Come forth. This is where we're going to turn this into a Yama. Terra Incarnate and Yubel. Cross Sheep instead, actually. You Cross Sheep first, correct. Return back to summon the Phantom, trigger the Cross Sheep, reborn the D-Lotus. Squirmer special summon. And now we are going to be making that Yama. Yama's now here, searching for the Shavara. We're going to be reborning the Spirit of Yubel with the Squirmer to get poppin' with the Shavara. You can also make an Apollo USA here if you want before doing this, but you have the protection of Phantom of Yubel. Spirit activates summoning Yubel. Super Polymerization fusing with the entire opposing field. 5 monsters times 500 damage, 2,500 damage. Let's go. Get burning. Shavara Chainlink block from a potential negate. Poplar equip itself into the back row. Phantom of Yubel negating the Poplar equipping itself. Oh boy. So after taking 2,500 damage, do we have enough for lethal afterward? We only have 2,700 damage on field. Burn for 25. Spirit summon Yubel. As we now make from this a Boral Sword Dragon. What? Boral Sword Dragon at 3,000 attack. As we then return from the Graver to summon a Phantom. Hey, don't do that, Modar. 3,000 damage to the face. Boral Sword Dragon, change the defender into defense to gain an additional attack. Just like that, 6,000 damage. After burning for 25 with the Loving Defender, 2-0 victory. You will not stop Yubel. Unless you're playing some Bestials in your main deck, which I don't think you were. Very well done. Good job, Modar and Nonstop DC. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Meta Weekly 124, the day of the new pack release. And how well did the new pack do? Two Voiceless Voice in the top 16. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Nice to see. Unfortunately, no Ice Barrier, no Raid Raptor. I think that was expected. If Voiceless Voice continues on this trend of at least 2 or more topping every single week, they'll be on the tier list. So as I said, I think Voiceless Voice is a top tier deck. Not as good as Yubel, though, obviously, I think. Let's look at Sprite. Good job, Chris. Doing well. It's Sprite 60 card Sprite with the triple Nimble Sunfish. Oh my gosh. So good job. There's the main deck. And then here is the extra deck here. Now we have Bestial Runic. Daradurn, happy to have you in the event and doing well with the Legacia. Legacia draw 2 with the Coral Dragon. Nice, nice, nice. And what else is good? Dinos. King Made Mod TTV. 40 card Dinos. Yup. Had really quick turn 1s and put up some really good fields. So that's good. Kashtira. A lot of people were excited with the Kashtira deck. RV Angelus. This is it. Double Macrocosmos, double Dimensional Fissure. Interesting. Double D-Shifter. Even have a Necro Valley in the deck with the Pathfinder being able to search it. There's the extra deck. What else? We have Rescue Ace. Gargolo. 43 card Rescue Ace main deck. And there is the extra. Yup. And let's skip over Voiceless for now. Let's look at the branded. Let's just look at Voiceless. Sir Goxanim. The Magna Hut could search for any dragon. So the other dragon cards you could search for is you could search for a Saphira, you could search for the Sarvis, and if you're playing the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph, you could also search for that too. So Magna Hut being, we're in a meta where Bestial Magna Hut's just good by itself. Great against Yubel, and if you play against the Voiceless Mirror match, this may just win you the game. Nadir Servant is interesting to gain access to the Maximus. Yep. Which could send Herald of Arc Light to search for a ritual monster or ritual spell. Yep. And what about VCTNGG? Also playing Nadir Servant. Anything too crazy here? Nothing out of this world. Magna Hut, Maximus, makes sense. And then looking at the extra deck. All right, looking good. And then let's go to the rest of the decks. Branded. April. 60 card April playing Arc Lord Christia. I'm loving it. Also playing the Chaos Nephthys. A lot of fun to play with that card. I do encourage you all to try this out. And then here's the extra deck. Yep. And then we have Abo Mod with Chaos Nephthys. No Christia, no Puppet. Puppet is banned. So let's zoom out more. This is what the main deck is looking like. And then the extra deck, we have Anaconda up in here. And against Voiceless Voice, they can't really stop your summons with the Sardis. So that's a pretty good benefit. And then Pure Snake Eye, doing as well as Snake Eye Fire King. Oh, I mean, this is Snake Eye Super Heavy Samurai. Yeah. So there you go. Vodka for free. Thank you. 40 card deck. Looking good. There is the extra deck. There is the main. So not Pure Snake Eye. And then Mitchell. We do have Pure Snake Eye with some Kashtira. Sure. Yup. There's the extra deck. Now there was Snake Eye Fire King with some of the Bestials. This is it. One Jerusalem, one Magna Hut. I think almost everyone has to consider playing these maybe in the Yubel meta. So good job on the main deck. There is the extra deck. And then Lucas Rios is looking like this. Yup. There is the extra deck. We got that Secret Photon Lord. That got me good on the ladder. Now we have Yubel. Yubel is here. Modar getting first place with Yubel. 46 card Yubel with Super Poly to help win the mirror match. An Eternal Favorite to fuse with the field also. Yup. Good. We have room for the Typhon still. Boral Lord, Boral Sword Dragon, and Access Code Talker. Okay. And no Anguish to go into Access Code Talker. That's interesting. Diavolo. 40 card. Keeping it nice and simple. And there is the extra deck with the Gustav Max Cannon. I love it. Burn for 2K in main phase 2. Giorgio with the Mature Chronicle, search for Super Poly and the Eternal Favorite. Yup. Chaos Angel looking nice. And there you go. That is the top cut of the event with the new pack release. Thank you for watching. Let's go.